On the TV over at Livestream. It's new.livestream.com/Alex Bennett. Let me see here. Here's Diane Weeks. Here, you come. You can talk into this mic.
I don't think my camera's working.
Your camera's working.
It is.
Yeah,
okay.
But Diane, you got a lot of noise there.
Is that the background that I'm seeing?
Yeah, we got a lot of noise with Diane. Can you hear us,
Yeah,
Diane?
I'm not going to be on long. I'm just driving. I wanted to say hello to Marjorie.
Hi, how are you?
Hope your arm is feeling better.
And
Can you
see it?
Alex,
What?
Here's my arm.
Yeah. What were you gonna say?
I was going to say I want to confirm that Shoreline Amphitheater. Was in Mountain View. I had been to that a few times because I was stationed at Moffett Field there. Right at that South Bay.
And
when I was in the Navy, you know.
Yeah.
But so I didn't know. Did they close it because it set on fire?
No. The lawn caught on fire. These geysers of flames came up. It didn't really the whole lawn didn't catch fire.
Cow poo.
But you could sit there and get your eyebrows singed.
Well, I used to go walking there because they had walking trails, and you could smell the smells that you would smell when you were walking through there. It was really interesting.
Landfill.
No wonder it blew up in a great gaseous blue flame of fart.
Well, all of Lower Manhattan.
It was very odoriferous.
All of Lower Manhattan is landfill.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard that. It's
but that doesn't mean it's over a garbage dump. This was over a garbage dump.
Well, you never know.
It was. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to get off to cut the noise, and I'll be listening.
Okay, thanks.
Have a nice day.
Bye. Thank you.
I appreciate the call. Bye-bye.
Oh.
And right now we have...
Marjorie's boy toy.
Marjorie's boy toy is here. Hello, Marjorie's boy toy.
Hi, how are you?
Look what T-shirt he's wearing.
Huh?
Look what T-shirt he's wearing.
The FDNY T-shirt.
Look what I'm wearing.
Yeah.
That's
right.
right.
Oh, look, she's wearing her Je suis
Charlie.
Charlie. It came today, and I told her, you're about 2 weeks too late. Nobody's doing that anymore.
That's okay. She makes it look good.
There we go.
Well, yeah, it's kind of hard to read.
Right on, Jim.
She could be wearing a "Where's the Beef" T-shirt. It would look good.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't put your sign on.
I have to turn the sign on so everybody knows we're on the air. There we go. There's the sign.
Can you see it? Yeah.
There we go. Oh, wait a minute. It's Hugh Beaumont and the Beaver. Hello, Mark.
Who's Beaver?
No, it's Mark.
Hey, Alex, how you doing tonight?
It's Mark Beaumont, and I call him Hugh Beaumont, who played the father on
Of Little
Leave It to Beaver.
Oh, Beaver.
Yeah. You're not any relation, are you?
No, but I think that that very innocuous show had one of the most outrageously subliminal character names in Beaver Cleaver.
Beaver Cleaver. Yeah.
Sure.
Somebody was laughing over that one. Guess what we got away with on television?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. So how's everything up in Revelstoke, Jim?
Still here.
Yeah.
Went for a walk today.
Did you really?
Yeah.
And what,
5 miles.
And what was you?
Really? Good for you.
What's walking like?
It's great until you fall down.
As Alex would say, what's leaving the house like?
Did you fall down? Did you get attacked by a albino moose?
Yes, I did.
Uh-huh. Every time he goes out, he gets attacked by an albino moose.
An albino?
Yeah. No, there is such a thing.
How do you see that thing in the snow if it's albino?
That's the thing. You don't.
They come out of nowhere.
They knock you out. They knock you down, and then they go back in the snowbank.
Oh, we watched Jim's program.
What?
What's the name of that program in Iceland? The Arctic
no,
Circle.
How could we possibly watch a show that isn't on over here?
Oh.
That's right. There's no way we could have watched it.
Okay.
Do you know that's the most expensive show they've ever produced for British television?
Ever.
It's a Netflix exclusive.
Yeah, I'm saying you're putting on our site GABNet, a Netflix original, But no, there's this show they did in England, and it's called, what is it called again? It's
The name of it's
Fortitude.
Fortitude. And it's about the safest town in the world. It's up near the Arctic Circle.
Until
murder strikes their town. Well, it's got a cast to die for. Stanley Tucci, Michael Gambon, the woman from The Killing in where, Sweden, where they did it originally.
The woman from
Christopher Eccleston, Doctor Who, and
the woman from
Call the Midwife.
Call the Midwives.
Yeah. So anyway, a guy from Game of Thrones. I mean, and they spent a lot of money on this thing.
It's good.
It was filmed partially in Iceland, where they had to. It's very difficult to film in Iceland. I don't know if you know this, Jim, because you have to constantly keep dodging the Game of Thrones cast. So
That's right.
it's like
And the Vikings.
and the Vikings.
See, that's the funny thing is, Iceland doesn't necessarily have a lot of snow, too. That's
Well,
the thing.
here's the other thing I read. They had to ship snow from England to Iceland to fill in the bald patches so it would look
Yeah.
more snowy.
You know how you remember that? You remember it by this. Iceland is green and Greenland is ice.
Really?
That's the way to remember it. Yeah, there's not a lot of
How did that
I mean-
how did that fuck up happen?
I don't know, but I mean, look at Clint Eastwood filmed Flags of Our Father, the storming of Iwo Jima in Iceland on the
Did he
beaches.
really?
Oh,
So,
really?
yeah.
Yeah. There are parts of Iceland though that are very icy.
Yes, but not a lot.
No, you have to go up into the mountains.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, sure. Well, hell.
But you can go around the perimeter of Iceland and
Right.
not really be stopped by snow or anything like that. You
What was
know.
that
Right.
movie that they came out with about 6-8 months ago, where the guy was working for Life magazine, and he was in search of this photographer, and had to go to Iceland to find him, and they had
No, that
urban
was
scenes.
that was that horrible remake of The Secret Life of Walter Mitty.
That was it. But I like the Iceland part. He was
Did you ever see the original film with Danny Kaye?
no
Any
actually.
K.
Yeah, this film had nothing to do with that film. So
Yeah,
why
and
they
had
called
some
it
crazy
the secret?
characters?
Yeah, well, why they
jumped
called
off
it the
buildings.
Secret Life of Walter Mitty when
I
it
don't-
had nothing to do with the original?
Yeah, well, that's sometimes that's the way the remakes go.
Yeah.
But the Iceland scenes, I think they were in Iceland. They were really neat.
I guess, yeah. You know, they're using Iceland for a lot of things now. I mean, as I
Yeah.
say, that's where they're doing Game of Thrones and
Vikings.
I don't know. Are they doing
I think
Vikings
they
there?
did the Vikings there.
No. They're using Ireland. Believe it or not, yeah, Ireland.
Yeah. Yeah.
Was Iceland's economy negatively affected by some American investment scheme?
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, and so was Greece, by the way. You know, the whole problem with Greece going under was because of some friends of Mitt Romney's, actually, some investment partners of Mitt Romney's. But no, there was a big. They lost a lot of money in Iceland, and Iceland always had an absolute pristine economy, which was then set asunder by.
Wasn't
you know-
Madoff, was it?
No, it wasn't Madoff. No. Gee, we don't hear about him much anymore, do we?
He gave an interview the other night.
He did?
He's doing investments on Cell Block D.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's a sad story.
He's the only one that went to jail.
No, but he wasn't the only one that went to jail. You keep saying that. He had nothing to do with the downfall
No, he didn't.
of Wall Street.
No, he didn't.
He
But
had
he was
nothing to do with that.
printing out statements that didn't exist.
No, but wait a minute. The point I'm
It's
making is
fraud.
they used him as the poster child for bad behavior, thinking everybody would say, okay, well, we just forgot about what happened with all those mortgage houses. You know, that was an entirely different kind of scandal.
No, it just came out at the same time.
Yeah, this was just an out-and-out Ponzi scheme.
Yeah.
You know. And I'm sure you would be happy to have Mr. Ponzi speak at your next carpet convention, because
He spoke 2 conventions ago. We'll get him. We'll get him next year.
Yeah. Actually, it was a guy named Ponzi
Yeah.
who came up with the scheme.
Yeah.
Anyway, how you doing tonight? How's everything out in Wisconsin? You been getting any snow out there, Patrick?
We're expecting a small snowstorm tomorrow night into Sunday.
Uh-huh.
And then I think it's coming here Sunday to Monday.
Yeah, it's going to be enough to fuck up anything I want to do, but I'll go out tomorrow and run my errands, and that'll be it.
Well, don't you?
It's not like you're going out to make snow angels. Come on. That's going to mess up your life.
That's true. The only way I would make snow angel is if my dumb ass fell out of the wheelchair and I'm like a turtle on my back. What to do now?
That's right.
Right. Oh, hey, look. Patrick must have fallen out of his wheelchair
Right.
because the angel got his wings.
Yeah, every time a cripple falls, an angel gets his wings.
Just push him down the sidewalk, and he'll clean the whole thing eventually.
Exactly. Well,
Hey guys, I'm gonna say good night. Mwah.
Oh,
Good night,
mwah.
everyone. Mwah.
don't come on to my wife, Patrick.
Here's my cast, my full cast.
Hey, Alan,
Yeah.
you see
No
that
signatures yet?
I message her.
What?
You see that I message her.
Oh, you message her,
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
Telling her what you...
I'll,
Huh?
I always hear from her at 3 a.m.
You do, don't you? There,
Yeah.
there's a whole there's a whole network going on here that I'm not even part of.
That's when I wake up.
Okay, good night, dear. Have a good night's
Good
sleep.
night, dear.
I don't know what she's doing tomorrow. Anyway, where were we? Oh, yeah. So, anything anybody want to bring up tonight? Anything in your craw, Mark? Mark?
I think Mark's frozen.
I think Mark is frozen.
I know one thing I wanted to bring up.
What?
You had.
By the way,
mentioned-
let me just mention this. We could use some calls. And you do that by using Skype and calling GABNet Live. Or you can call using a phone number, which is, what is it, Jim?
347
352 0079. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway.
And do it, or the cripple gets it.
Ladies and gentlemen, this little cripple boy is waiting for your call.
No, yeah, or we'll shoot him.
Won't you please help?
All in, and the
for
dog
only
dies.
pennies, for only pennies a day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
Anyway, you had mentioned stop and frisk, and it reminded me of an article that was sent to me earlier today by a friend of mine that the NYPD announces a new task force with high-tech weaponry to handle terrorist attacks and protests. Without reading the entire article, I can send you the link.
Yeah.
Basically, it says it'll be a unit of 350 cops.
Mhm.
They will be specially trained with high-tech weaponry to deal with protests, lone wolf attacks, and evolving threats posted by terrorists. The Strategic Response Group will be dedicated to disorder control and counterterrorism protection capabilities. And they will be armed, they'll be equipped and trained in ways that the normal patrol officers are not. They will have extra heavy protective gear, long rifles, and machine guns. So that'll be
where is this again?
in your city, New York.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it'll be a new task force. So it was said. Let's see here. Part of it part of the reason it was put together, it was designed for dealing with events like the recent protests that are taking place in New York as well. So, so I didn't. That was on.
This is a new thing.
PS2, I believe it was.
This is a new thing our liberal mayor is doing now. Now we're losing. We're losing. Jim. Boy.
Yeah. Well, that was the point that this person made, is so much for the progressive mayor.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Because, you know, and I don't really have an opinion on it because I don't live where you do, but I just thought it was interesting that she had mentioned, well, there goes the progressive mayor, and now, you know, you're going to have a task force of 350 police officers armed with machine guns and heavy body armor to deal with protests, terrorism, and that sort of thing.
And choking asthmatics.
Can I just say one thing? Right now, there's just Patrick, myself, and Alex.
Yeah, because
and
somehow
that means it's just a GOP conspiracy to outnumber the liberals.
You're right. It's an all-Republican panel. Mark, what happened to you? He froze up, and then we lost him, and then we lost Jim, and that's we don't have anybody else. So
Patrick, how about all those good things the Republicans are doing for the people in this country?
By the way, this is TV night. You know, you can come on wearing a costume if you want to.
I am. I'm wearing a face that nobody will scream at.
I got a face that's made for radio.
Yeah. So now your big deal is you're moving.
Yeah. They approved me today for the apartment.
Oh, they approved you for the apartment?
Yeah. You know, I thought all I had to do was fog a mirror, but
how big an apartment is it?
It's not that big. It's 1,013 square feet, a 2-bedroom, and it's going to be hard to move in. I'm getting rid of stuff right and left. Things I don't need.
Now, are you planning on finding another house?
In Hawaii.
Oh boy, that's a couple of years down the line, though, isn't it?
Not necessarily. Now that I got rid of the house, and that took a while. Or it's not done yet until February 9th.
Why are you moving to Hawaii?
I want to scuba dive every morning, or most mornings. And I've had this idea about a book called The Dive Sites of Maui, where I would graph the dive sites. You dive them enough, you get to really understand them, and I'd map them. Most dive books don't have the sites mapped. They just tell you where they are and what kind of things you can expect. But I'm going to make a topography map of the different
before you
sites.
make the map, you better learn how to pronounce it.
Yeah, well, I know how to measure.
Let me see here. Oh, somebody's call. Oh, here we're getting Mark Beaumont back.
Just messaged you, Alec.
Yeah.
That what I'm talking about.
What?
I just messaged you what I was just talking about.
Oh,
so you
okay.
can read it and the video there too.
No, okay, good.
Now he'll know what to look out for when he goes for a walk.
Right. Mark, thank God you're back. Now it's 2-on-2.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Sorry about that. I had a little internet issue here. Everything froze up. I had to reset my modem. So
yeah. That's
get me up to speed, guys. What did I miss?
Oh, so far we've just been talking about Phil going to live in Hawaii so that he can make maps he can't pronounce.
Topography.
Topography. There you go.
Yeah.
Topographical maps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Alex asked me why I want to go to Hawaii. I want to be in a stress-free environment. Stress is what causes the diabetes.
What makes you think Hawaii is stress-free, for crying out loud?
It is when you're diving every morning.
Well, yeah, unless all of a sudden you start to drown and you lose air and then you panic, and then that's not stress-free.
I'm a master diver. I'm not going to panic. I know what to do.
You know what to do? Oh, look who's here. Hey, Renee, how are you?
Hello, how's it going?
It's Renee Collins, ladies and gentlemen, an old caller to the program who hasn't been with us for a while because of some family things, right?
Yep. Thank you.
How are you doing?
Better. I got in my pajamas at 5 today instead of 4, so I'm like a little happier.
Are you going through any kind of great deal of depression over this thing?
Oh, it's kind of weird. So for what you guys don't know is my husband, who was 47, passed away on December 22nd.
And did you see it coming, or was it something that was totally unexpected?
Completely unexpected.
Oh,
So,
I'm so
we were
sorry.
working on his back problems and his kidney stone problems. I didn't even see the cardiac event coming.
Well,
so
why didn't
it
his
was bad.
why didn't his doctors check him for cardiac?
Because you know what, that wasn't the hard part. The hard part is when I went up to Colorado for the ceremony, because we buried most of them up there.
Mm-hmm.
His dad took out the certificate of death and said, "Oh yeah, it was a cardiac event." And I said, "Yeah, but do you have any cardiac issues in your family?" And he said, "Oh yeah." I'm like, oh my God. What do you mean, yeah? So it turns out his mother died. So Marty's grandmother and his grandfather died of cardiac events. And so I didn't know any of this. And I'd been with Marty for 25 years. So it was not pretty, but I go up and down.
So it
do.
was a total surprise. I mean, it was something that he just one day just dropped dead, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Well, there was no warning. There was no time in the hospital or anything like that.
Nope. That was heed this. We were riding bikes because he got off they kick everybody. And a lot of people don't know this, but when you work in the Valley, they actually kick you out of work on for like the 2 weeks between Christmas and New Year's.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't pay you unless you've got PTO, but they say, okay, it doesn't matter if you got PTO or not, you're not showing up and we're locking the doors and all of this. So that Friday he took time off on Friday. We rode bikes on Saturday. He rode bikes on Sunday. His stomach hurt, but his neck and his shoulders hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it was from riding the bikes because you're, doing this.
Yeah, yeah.
And on Monday, while he was watching the Denver Broncos game, which is his team, he passed away.
Wow.
So,
Neck and shoulder pain, that's a
That's it.
telltale sign right there. Yeah.
Shoulder
but
pain?
it's like
Neck,
this.
neck and shoulder.
I got that every day.
And I had it this morning, but
Yes, I know it happens every day.
Yeah.
And I thought it was just from riding the bike. And I asked him, I said, you know what, we should take you to the over to El Camino, which is the closest hospital. And he said, no, I'm just going to take a shower. And I went off to run a bunch of errands and bam, it was just like that.
Well, I mean, he was young. That's the incredible part about it,
Yeah, he went before his father went.
Hmm.
So it's been a really bad Christmas, New Year's, and birthday.
Well, it's good to have you back. It's good to have you back with us, and
Thank you. Anyway, not to depress everyone.
No, because otherwise Doug Dupuis will call up and make us feel sorry that his father died, even though he didn't talk to him.
Yes, and I'm sorry to hear about your dad, Doug. I know you're listening, and you'll call up soon, but it still hurts, and it comes in waves. So the other day I went to the grocery store and I started bawling my eyes out because this is where I come and pick up his deli meats, And I was like, okay, don't mind me. I'm just crying.
I'm crying over the deli counter.
Over the deli meats. So anyway, what I was going to say is that I listen to you guys every morning, or in this case now afternoons, when I walk the dog.
Yeah.
So I get to hear everything that you guys get to talk about. I just don't join in because the times were a little odd.
Yeah. So I bet you have a whole bunch of stuff to say.
You know what? I have no fight in me. I've lost. He was so good to me, and he allowed me to express myself and be myself. I just don't have much sarcasm left.
Well, it's hell to say this because it's such treacle. We just lost Patrick now. What is this? It's a terrible night for bandwidth. that you know it's terrible when we have to say this, but it's true, and that is that as time passes, you'll remember the good times, and the fact that you had a great marriage for that many years is a positive thing, and it's a wonderful thing to remember.
Yeah, I just feel sorry for the first guy that asked me out, because I'm just gonna say, you might as well not.
Mark just had a look on his face. Hi, Mark.
Hey, Renee, sorry to hear about this.
Oh, thank you. It was ugly, Alex. And
listen.
I was guessing speaking for the show, I want to say thank you for the email, because I saw it and I just started crying again.
Oh, well, I'm sorry I made you cry now. When Tony's grandmother died, made him cry. So,
That was my first statement to everybody I talked to. Okay, I'm going to tell you this, but please don't make me cry. But who was the gentleman that said that they're moving, the carpet gentleman, Ron, right?
No, Phil. But you can call him Ron if you want to.
Moving to Hawaii.
Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully within the next year or two or less.
And you live around here, right, in the Bay Area?
Yeah, right now I live in the Berkeley Hills.
Okay.
And next week I'll be living in Walnut Creek.
Oh, well, at least it's not summer.
Yeah.
For you guys who don't, anything in the valley is hot.
Yeah.
Hot.
Well,
you go through that through the Caldecott Tunnel, come out the other end, and the temperature goes up 20 degrees during the summer.
Yeah, I just live on the Berkeley side of the Caldecott Tunnel. I'm pretty almost over the tunnel.
Yeah.
So I'm soliciting advice not to take over the show, but if anybody wants to talk to me, I'm thinking of either Oahu, North Shore, or Vancouver, British Columbia.
That's a dichotomy.
Yeah, but they each have their huge pluses, and they're both sane. So I need sanity. This valley doesn't have much sanity in it.
Yeah, well, did you want to get out of there because the memory will linger? Do you feel, or
no? I don't have anything tying me here anymore. Yeah. I really don't. A few friends are here, but they all Skype or Face or the other one, and so it's really easy to get a hold of them.
Yeah, well, if I wasn't tied to New York by girlfriend, well, she works here and she doesn't want to move. She does not want to leave New York, but I would get out of New York in an instant. And
where would you go?
I'd probably go back to California somewhere. Yeah. But
I know too much about Prop 13 to stay here. It's driving me a little bonkers.
Yeah. Prop 13 is
when they roll the taxes back to 1%, and what it did was it kept retirees their homes. It also capped how much money the state could bilk out of its residents.
Yeah.
Oh, that was the old Prop 13.
Right.
That was started by what's his name?
Howard and there was two names, Howard.
Yeah, but that almost bankrupted the state. Jarvis. Yeah, but that almost bankrupted the state, didn't it?
No, what it did was it clamped down on the crazy spending that the state was doing, and so the administrators, instead of cutting back on pork, they cut back on repairing the roads, building the infrastructure, and things like that. But they kept any program that would continue to get them elected.
Did they do away with the wax lip program they had out there, where everybody, because they were spending money so wildly, got at least 20 pairs of wax lips every year?
I'm sure we're still getting those wax lips.
You remember the wax lips, Mark?
No.
Remember wax lips?
Yeah, I remember wax lips.
You put them in your mouth, and you'd have these wax lips.
And inside there was some juice or colored water.
No, I don't think so. Did wax lips have colored water inside of them?
Well, the little ones that look like
No,
Coca-Cola bottles.
that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about wax lips.
Yeah, I've seen the wax lips. You get in Halloween, they give them to
you. Yeah.
I bought some at the shopping center has a candy store. I can't remember its name, and I got some for Christmas, but yeah, that didn't go well. So, but I did find them. I can find them if you really want a pair of wax lips.
Yeah. Now, can I say something to you, Renee, which is kind of
Absolutely.
interesting? When I read the thing that you sent out that your husband had died, I didn't even know you were married because you never mentioned it.
That I don't. He isn't the kind of person that he doesn't have a mouth like mine. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
He's an executive. He didn't do the crazy things that I did. I'm the one who drug him around and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
He's not the kind of person to, even though if you Googled him, he's actually probably, they were talking about this at the wake, that he's one of the most photographed and video performed person in Cisco.
Oh,
so
wow.
you can see him if you want to see
Yeah,
him.
but you
He
if I remember correctly, you were at my installation at the Bay Area Radio Hall of Fame.
Yeah, it was really nice.
Yeah, and you weren't.
I met girlfriend.
Yeah, but you weren't there with him. So when this woman had this mysterious husband.
Yeah, not anymore.
Yeah, didn't they move that to Alameda?
What?
The Bay Area Hall of Fame?
I don't know.
It was in Berkeley.
I got a mimeograph certificate or something for it. You know.
Mimeograph. Does it smell like mimeograph paper?
They just rolled it off. Here, the worst award I ever got was the Emmy. You know how they give you the Emmy? They don't know who's going to get the Emmy, right, till they open the envelope. So how come
they write on there with magic marker?
No. What they do is they, along with that, have in a sealed envelope the winner's plate. And you have to glue the plate onto your own Emmy.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought that was a real Emmy.
No, that's a real Emmy. But what happens is you get off stage after winning your Emmy and thanking everybody who you're going to thank, and they hand you this envelope. And in the envelope is this thing, and you peel the back off of it, and it has all the information, and you stick it onto the front of the Emmy. But if you don't do it just right, you fucked up your Emmy forever.
I'm sure you can get it off,
Well, you have to get another Emmy for that. Yeah. Mark?
Wow, the chances of you getting another sports Emmy?
I would say almost impossible. Almost as impossible that I got one in the first place.
It's true.
Mark, anything bothering you politically? Anything you want to talk about?
Which Mark?
Oh, excuse me. The Mark with a K.
Oh, there you go. Well, your wax lips reminded me of somebody that we didn't talk about a couple of nights ago when we were talking about daytime kid show people.
Mm-hmm.
Wax lips reminded me of a guy who came out on stage in the show one time, and he said, "Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears." And then there was some stagehands on ladders who dumped a whole bunch of rubber ears on him while he was saying that. And that was Soupy Sales.
Did he do that?
Sure did.
Wow, he's long gone, isn't he? Yeah. Well, my friend Steve, who's died about a couple of years ago, became a member of the Friars Club, and his sponsor was Soupy Sales.
He's one of my favorites.
Yeah. That's
growing up.
Okay, so that's the most interesting thing
But
I have to say
politically,
tonight.
oh yeah, there's plenty of stuff.
Well, how about Romney announcing today that he's not going to be running? And
he made a deal with Jeb Bush.
Huh?
I think he made a deal with Jeb Bush.
What kind of deal with Jeb Bush?
I don't know. He met with Jeb Bush, and then he came out of the room and he says, "I'm not running."
Yeah. Well, that was a smart thing to do. I mean, why run? You haven't got a chance of a snowball in hell of getting the nomination.
He was probably
he's
whatever.
got a big lead, and if he in the polls.
Did he have a big lead in the polls?
He's had a big lead in the polls, and I would think that it would get frittered away. as time went on, and Rupert Murdoch and Fox News were really cold on his campaign for the third time. So I think that might have had something to do with it.
Well, that had probably had something to do with it, but I mean, the fact is that, you know, I mean, he didn't have a chance of a snowball's chance of getting the nomination, or if he got it, winning. He's proven himself 3 times to be a loser, twice to be a loser, and this would be the 3rd time. And I just think even the fact that he was considering it diminishes his dignity. You know, it's like these people who are always running no matter what. Now, some of them do it just to get money, because they get money. If they're just running, they get like these, you know, contributions and stuff, and they get to keep them all after they're through with their election.
Who was that guy that was running for like the last 30 years? Not Pat Paulson. It was, I think it was either the Communist Party or one of those types of parties. But every election he was running. Yeah. He may not be alive anymore.
There's money in it. Am I right, Mark with a C?
Oh, yeah. Jesse Jackson flying around in a nice jet that the Democrats have due to all the donations.
Yep. And then after you don't win the nomination, if you got money left over, you get to keep it.
I'm running for president.
I think that's what led to Al Sharpton getting into trouble with the taxes, because he got a bunch of political when he ran for president.
Yeah.
Hey, did anybody see that article yesterday that Rod McEwen died?
Yeah, so what?
All right, just people who died.
So what?
All right.
There's a house on Stanyan Street. The worst fucking poetry.
Oh, thank God. I thought I was the only one that felt this way. I know I'm going to...
There was a small little window when I was growing up as a kid that I felt that Rob McEwen might be good. But then all of a sudden my better sense got the better of me, and I realized he sucked. I mean, that was some of the worst fucking poetry ever. To even call it poetry was a besmirchment of poetry itself.
All right.
God, it's not just me. My God, Seasons in the Sun. Oh, God, I was like, what am I listening to here?
Lonesome City.
By the way, everybody, I just blew my nose. You could see that on the TV. I'm still, you know. But he, he had a great song once called Oliver Twist. Do you remember that? It was a rock song. That's where he started out. We have a phone caller. Who's the phone caller?
Hey, Alex, how you doing? Hey, Bernie Ward just got out of jail, I think, in December.
Wait a minute. Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah, Bernie Ward. Bernie Ward was a talk show host in San Francisco.
Did he?
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, do you think, not necessarily KKGO, but another radio station might hire him, or what do you think?
I don't think anybody's going to hire Bernie Ward, to tell you the truth. I'm trying to figure out if this is our prank caller.
Hey, Phil?
Huh?
Oh, yeah, it is.
It is.
Did you ever lay carpet in the town of Colma, like in the 1980s?
Say that again. I'm sorry.
Did you lay any rug in the town of Colma in about the 1980s?
I don't remember. I might have. Colma's an all graveyard city.
You don't have to answer because he just hung up.
Oh, well, I figured it would, continue the joke. I
thought the good follow-up joke would be because there's still kids missing from there, or something like that.
Okay, well, you should have joined in.
I was waiting for that,
I say, well, the place is full of graves. It's Colma's all graveyards, the whole thing.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the town outside of San Francisco, right?
Right. Yeah, it's graveyard city.
That was freaky. I'm like, what's it's sort of like that area between Queens and Long Island with all the Jewish cemeteries, only
Right.
big. I was asking my friends, it's like, what's with this? And they told me the story of this place. I'm like, really? There's more dead than live people. I'm like,
Yeah.
wow.
Well, they have a city hall there that looks like a mausoleum.
It probably was, and they
Yeah.
just confiscated it.
And I went out there to shoot some video one day for a TV show I was doing because you know who's buried out there?
Grant's tomb?
Well,
No.
up on the hill, there's this big mausoleum where the Strauss family is buried. The Levi
that's
Strauss
not what I'm
family.
talking about.
And if you walk down about 50 yards, Wyatt Earp and Josephine Earp. And then there was one other grave on the other side of her, and I didn't know what that was about. And I figured, maybe it was her a husband she married after Wyatt died, right? Because she lasted longer than he did, and it turns out it was her brother. I read the book, and it was her brother.
Wouldn't the Strausses have been buried in the Jewish cemetery?
But they weren't. They weren't. They had the Levi right up there. Yeah, a big denim mausoleum, by the way. It was very interesting.
It was the button-down front door
Yeah,
that gave it away.
It had all these these little rivets on the door. But
Aren't you forgetting someone in the particular city that's been buried there that you need to take care of something?
oh, I need to put up a tombstone, don't I?
Yeah.
My
His
mother. My mother's grave sits there without a tombstone because I've never had the time to get out there to do it.
Does it have a standing tombstone or just a plaque that fits on the ground?
Actually, I took a felt tip marker and a piece of cardboard. No, now I'm not making a living right now, so I don't know if I have the money to be able to get the kind of tombstone I wanted. But what I wanted to do is my mother's buried next to my father, and I wanted to pull his stone and put up one big stone for both of them that says, "Here lies Ruth and Alex Schwarzman, parents of," and then in big letters, Alex Bennett.
Emmy Award-winning Alex Bennett.
Yes. Emmy Award-winning Alex Bennett.
Sports Emmy.
Huh?
Sports Emmy.
Sports
right?
Emmy.
Yeah, sports Emmy. You should have the etching of the Emmy onto their headstone.
That's right. That's right. But no, I probably will somehow figure out something to do because I feel so guilty about it that, she's been buried now for over 10 years. I haven't done anything about it.
Yeah, hasn't it been longer than 10 years?
Am I a bad son? Is that a bad son? I mean, they're dead,
Hey, careful.
No, but girlfriend's going to cremate me, and I don't want to be cremated, but she's going to cremate me.
Alex, you're a good son as long as you still have it on your mind to get it done.
Very good. Very good. Thank you so much. You have now...
It's still on your mind, right?
What's the candle that we light every year
the
that I never do?
The Yortzeit candle.
Do you do that?
I can't remember what day she died. I do remember her birthday, though.
Yeah?
Yeah, September 18th. Actually, it wasn't her birthday. What happened was her birthday was September 18th, and every year she would say, "It's my birthday, September 18th." And every year we would have a birthday party for my mother on September 18th. And then all of a sudden, one year, she went somewhere and got her birth certificate. Turns out she was born September 16th.
Oh,
But it was too late to change it, so we just celebrate it every year on the 18th. But
well, it's a good thing you haven't had the headstone made yet because you would have had the wrong date on it.
Yeah, right. Well, don't they just do years to years? Do they put the
No,
date
they
on
do
it?
the whole thing.
The whole thing.
Yeah, unless it's a budget stone.
Unless it's a budget stone. Tell me about the budget stone.
That one they do. They just use initials. They got an arrow pointing down, and they put the date.
I'm an old-fashioned kind of guy. I want one of those Boot Hill tombstones for her. A piece of wood.
Yeah, with cross.
with carved into the wood. I'm an old-fashioned kind of guy.
There you go. plenty. That should be easy to come by.
Man, I don't know. I'm getting to the time where I got to figure out: do I want to be buried or do I want to be cremated? And the idea of being buried, I have claustrophobia. Doesn't appeal to me.
Did you hear the way they buried that King Abdullah?
No, how they do that?
They no coffin or anything. They just, I think they dug a big hole and I think they filled it up with salt and they dropped him in there and covered him up.
Why salt?
I think it's to preserve.
Bake them in the desert.
It looked like a big pile of crystals.
And then they threw in
stuff.
some brine, and he'll be ready in about another 10 years.
There you go.
Yeah.
But no coffin.
Is there a reason for that?
I didn't get into it to find out if
There
it's
may
just
be a
their
religious
customs or what.
There may be a religious reason.
Yeah.
For instance, I buried my father in a traditional Jewish coffin, which is all wood, no metal.
Pine.
Plain
Well,
pine box.
this one was oak, I think. It wasn't a plain box. It had very nice stuff on it and everything like that, but it was pure wood. So that's the way.
They get you. I know that when I went to pick out the coffin for my father,
this really isn't an appropriate conversation with what's gone on with Renee recently. So.
Yeah, well, it started.
Yeah.
One other thing about bodies and burials.
No, let's stop it.
All right.
Renee, are you still there?
I'm listening, and Alex, I just sent you a message. I think check it because your father died in 1967.
My father died in. When did he die? Yeah, it had to be somewhere around in then. Yeah.
See if you got my message because this is probably a picture of his tombstone, or it might be.
Where did you send it?
I sent it to. Hang on.
Facebook? No.
I could do that if you want me to do that.
Yeah,
I was sending
Facebook.
to the messenger on Facebook.
Yeah.
But so I have two addresses for you. One is the .me account, and the other one is the AlexBennett at alexbennett.com.
Well, you could do that. So you sent mail is what you sent.
It's supposed to be iMessage, but okay, we'll take mail.
Oh,
hang on, let me see if I can post it on Facebook.
Yeah, but just post it on the Facebook page.
All right, one moment.
But what were you going to say about my father in 1967?
No, it says the beloved husband and father, 1906 to 1967.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And I'm not sure it's yours.
He died at 59. He was young.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Still to be 47. So.
Yeah, my father was 44.
Yeah, I love my father to death. I even at the time felt, why couldn't it be my mother? I mean, if one parent or the other is going to be taken, I would have vastly preferred it to be her than him because he was somebody I could go to and get answers about just about anything, But
so you replaced him with Google?
My father was replaced by Wikipedia.
Alex, what did your dad do for a living?
My father was a violinist.
Really?
Yes.
Playing an orchestra or jazz or what?
Well, for years he played with orchestras. And then the bottom fell out of the business because in the mid-'50s, orchestras started falling by the wayside. They were replaced by bands, which were no more than 10. The difference between a band and an orchestra, you know the difference? An orchestra has violins, stringed instruments.
Cellos.
Bands do not. They don't have they might have a guitar, but they don't have violins and things like that. And so my father found work harder and harder to get at a certain point in the 50s because smaller outfits, especially jazz, came in, so little combos and stuff, and so he then started selling real estate. But he spent the end of his life being a business manager at the Musicians Union. So
when he kicked back what type of music did he prefer to listen to?
I don't know. I have to say, do I remember him actually listening to music? And I would have to say no, just for the same reason that I don't listen to radio programs. You're doing it all the time. What he played, he was a journeyman musician. One day he'd be playing with a band in San Francisco, or a pickup band, like a guy like Nelson Riddle would come in with Frank Sinatra, and they needed violins, and they'd hire him because he could read the music. And then he would go over to the San Francisco Symphony and play with them, and then he'd have a gig at the ballet. I mean, he was a journeyman musician.
I'll be back in a minute.
But okay, I'll be right back.
Going to make some maps?
Yes, topographical maps. So he was what I call a good journeyman musician. Point me to the stage and show me the music, and then he would just play and go to the next gig. And he did a lot of radio in those days, and there, in the 40s and so on. He was pretty good. I don't know how great a violinist he was, but he worked a lot. People hired him. He didn't play clunkers, so he must have been okay. But it was a strange world growing up as the son of a musician, because you've got all these people out there who say, "So what does your dad do?" My dad repairs automobiles, or my dad owns a bank, or whatever. What does your dad do? My dad's a musician, and they just couldn't relate to that. It just was one of those kind of things that was so strange and alien to almost every kid I ever knew. Yeah. Your dad plays a violin. What? I said, does he make money doing that? Whatever. So trying to explain what your parents do when they do something unusual is how I grew up.
Yeah, he probably didn't bring a lunchbox with him to work, huh? Like all the other dads.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't. He usually brought a fifth of whiskey with him, because when you were playing some of those dance bands, when they played in dance bands, you would have guys dancing around with these girls, who probably weren't their wives, who go, "Buy the band a drink." So by the end of the night, everybody in that band was reeling from one drink after another that people would keep sending up to the band.
Yeah.
But my father really could hold his liquor. He could. Most people were under the table before he even looked like he was out of it. So,
Do you recall going to any of his shows, or that was something you didn't?
Well, that was another thing. That was another thing I didn't do. I did on a couple of occasions see him playing. I saw him playing when I went to go see the Ice Follies in San Francisco, and he was in the band for it. But I never saw him play that often. No. Because most of the places he was going to play, I was a kid. They wouldn't let me in. He was playing in saloons, and and he was playing at the symphony and the ballet, and I didn't want to go to the symphony or the ballet, and So he did, however. Did I see him when he did it? He always used to play with. Are you ready for this? You're going to love this, Mark. Mark Thorner. My father would play, and I would go watch him play with Spike Jones.
Oh, yeah.
And his City Slickers.
That must have been fun.
Well, the thing was, most people, what, did he play the shotgun? What did he play? And the fact was that if you ever listen to Spike Jones' music, sometimes there are intervals of lush string arrangements and so on that would then go into all this stuff,
Wow.
And so he always had to have violins in the orchestra. In fact, my aunt, who was a harpist, was always hired by Jones when he came to town.
Oh my God! So that's your aunt doing cocktails for two.
Well,
there's a harp bridge.
There is a harp bridge, but she sat on stage all night before that
And
bridge.
usually she'd be knitting something?
Yes, she'd be knitting a sweater.
Was she also then on the television series?
No. This is whenever he came to San Francisco, and they would pick up the harpist, and she did it enough that they got to know her. Go get so and so, and so my aunt would go there, and what would happen is she would be knitting at the harp through the whole show, right?
Wow.
And at the very end, I think they do cocktails for two or something, and there's a harp glissando in it. And she put down the knitting and do the glissando and go back to knitting again. Well, I was told by her that after a week at the Warfield Theater, doing 6 shows a day, mind you, because that's what they did, 6 shows a day.
Wow.
She actually had a piece of knitting that went almost all the way across the stage.
Did either of them have any credits on recorded music, records, or anything? Did they do session work?
My father played for a long time with a band called Eddie Fitzpatrick's Orchestra. They were the house band at the St. Francis Hotel, and they would put out records. But I mean, it didn't have my father's name on it or anything like that. But he was part of it.
Right.
It was I grew up as a show business kid. Every summer during the school year, I went to school. We stayed in San Francisco, but then when summer came, we went on the road with my father. And they'd either be playing at the Mapes Hotel in Reno, Nevada, or we went down to the Coconut Grove where Fitzpatrick wound up being the house band down there for the summer. We used to Cal Neva with Frank Sinatra, and people like that. I remember they used to put us up in a little cabin on the Cal Neva property, and we'd spend the summers up there. So when I traveled with my father, it was really a bunch of gigs he was doing, and I love that. That was great. That was the best. Well, that's how I got to know and swim in Al St. John's pool, one of the Keystone Cops. So it was quite a life growing up that way. I was thinking
Gave
about
you the showbiz bug, huh?
Well, I was thinking about it the other day, and I was very lucky to have that kind of childhood. It was different.
How was it growing up in a rural Marin?
Well, that you see, we moved to Marin when when my grandparents died. They left us a house in Mill Valley, and then we moved to San Anselmo and he rented out the house in Mill Valley, and we got a house in San Anselmo, and that was when he got into real estate. The music was kind of petering out, and so it was a nice time. I had a good childhood. I can't complain about it. Plus I was an only child. How good is that?
You remember where Butterfield was? Butterfield Road?
Yeah.
A friend of mine just sold his house there, a ranch-style house with a pool, $2.5 million.
Oh,
Really?
Yeah.
nice. Is he moving to Hawaii too?
No, he's moving down to Orange County, but that's the neighborhood that Alex grew up in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I lived up on Scenic Avenue.
Does it means you were up the hill?
Huh?
Where is Scenic?
Scenic is up on the hill. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, God, you just have me doing some of the material I'm going to do when I start doing my audio biography. But I mean, it was a great.
Do we have to pay extra for that material?
No.
Another dollar.
just use this material.
Yeah, just use this material. This is episode 1, ladies and
Yeah,
gentlemen.
you got a chapter already done.
Yeah, exactly. Where'd you grow up, Mark? You grew up in New York, right? Mark with a C.
Yeah, Bay Ridge, Brooklyn.
Bay Ridge, Brooklyn. Now, I've told you before, I was always very jealous of kids who grew up in Brooklyn.
Why?
Well, easy. Because you kids, you had the kids who grew up in Brooklyn that I meet had this point of reference. You know what I'm talking about? To begin with, you had your own ball team, right?
Yeah, which I missed by 5 years.
Did you miss it by 5 years?
Yes.
Yeah, so, but you were Bay Ridge. Now, my family was from Flatbush.
See, now, but you two have something in common here because Brooklyn has there's something about being from Brooklyn.
Listen.
Yeah, both my parents were born in Brooklyn.
Really?
Being Jewish in Brooklyn, when I did, I was always getting into a fight because I was Jewish.
Yeah.
Okay, so sometimes I won fights, sometimes I came home beaten up. Okay. I didn't get to appreciate Brooklyn until much later on.
My friend Barry only kept from being beaten up because they called him the Record Man. And they'd stop him in the hallway. He went to Erasmus High School. And so they'd stop him in the hallway. Barry, what's the flip side of such and such a record? And he'd tell him. And he'd tell him how long it was, the 45, and what record label it was on. And they say, okay, you can go. Half the time he was lying, but but that's what kept him from getting beat up. He was the Record Man.
Yeah, we could use a few more callers, folks. We got a half hour left, and I just don't know where's Dan tonight. Who else is? You know who we haven't heard from lately is Charlie Wallace. Has he had some problems or something?
His lady.
What?
His lady. I
What?
think his lady has had some health problems.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I should write him a note and give him our best.
You should.
Because sometimes people disappear, and you go, "What
Same
happened?"
with Rick.
Huh?
Same with Rick.
Yeah, Rick Horn we haven't heard from in quite a while. Is he even out there is what the question is. But anyway, so if you're listening to us, Charlie, we're thinking of you, okay?
Yeah.
Um,
Alex, look at your Facebook page. See if that's your father.
let me see here.
Or everybody go to Alex's Facebook page.
You go to Alex's Facebook page and see if that's my father.
Yeah, it might not be. The spelling could be.
Well, girl from Castro Convertibles, early commercials is back. Oh, is that the girl that used to jump up and down? I didn't. I don't have it on my on the Facebook page. Which Facebook page you put it on?
I just put it on. It might be. Hold on a second. Sorry.
Did you put it on GABNet?
I might have put it on GABNet.
Oh, that one we don't even look.
Of course,
at.
I took a personal thing and put it on the public place when I should have taken the personal thing and put it on the personal page.
No, I don't see it there either.
I just posted it. All right. Could be me. Hold on. You don't have to approve stuff, right?
No.
Alex, you have 3 pages. One says New York, New York. One says entertainer, and then the other says TV show.
Really?
Yep.
Let's see what I did. I placed it on. Well, the first one I placed on mine. Well, that doesn't work. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, you go to my Facebook page and see Alex. What I think is Alex's father's grave. I thought I put it on yours. Hold on. Let's try that again.
Oh well, just send it to me. Email it to me. Email it to me at alex@gabnet.net.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
And then I'll take a look at it
And then,
after the show.
Alex, when you get it, you post it. I want to see it.
Oh, okay. Tom Yamaguchi sent me a note here, and I guess this has finally resolved itself. Have you heard about the Sirius XM thing with the turtles, with Flo and Eddie?
Nope.
They sued.
Oh, yeah.
They sued Sirius XM because Sirius XM was not paying royalties on songs they were playing by them. Happy
In
Together, Eleanor, which is one of my favorite songs of all time.
It was in California that they were able to get.
Yeah, and they filed a suit against Sirius XM, and Sirius XM has lost it. It seems that the Copyright Protection Act didn't protect copyrights prior to 1972. And now the California state law says, no, they should be covered. You know.
They should be covered.
Huh?
They should be covered.
Oh, absolutely. You know.
I'm a serious subscriber. I got a letter in December saying that they were going to, you know, put a few cents or up the charge somewhat because of that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'll have to
I
dig it out
I
and
think the
read it to you.
I think the subscribers should sue over that one because they were at fault for something and now they're trying to get you to pay for it?
Let it
Yep.
expire, and they'll give it to you for $4 a month.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm
I'll
getting
have to,
stuff in the
I'll
mail
have
all
to dig
the
it out.
time.
You know, there's your noise again, Dan. What is that?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm having problems again. Let me.
Oh, he just hung up on us.
No, I think he muted himself.
Muted himself? No, he got rid of
No,
himself.
he hung up.
So Alex, Flo and Eddie won,
Yeah, they won.
and this was just recently.
Let's see here. Hold on.
Did they get a monetary award?
I believe they did. Hold on a second. Let me bring up this this article that he sent me. SiriusXM loses royalties case against Oldies Band. Let me see here. In the battle between today's digital music series, the founders of the 60s rock band The Turtles won summary judgment on Monday against Sirius. Well, this is September 23rd, 1914. I mean, 2014. Why'd you?
Yeah, well, that's September. I got a letter in December. So 2 months later, they were like cutting their losses.
Somebody is calling me.
Tom Yamaguchi, I think.
Tom? Is Tom trying to call?
Yeah, it says GABNet Live, Tom Yamaguchi.
Yeah, but I can't find out where he's ringing from here.
Oh, I guess he's doing those duplicate things.
Huh? He's probably doing the duplicate thing. Yeah, no, this is I already saw this a long time ago. But anyway, next they're going to go after Pandora for this as well. Everybody's frozen. What has happened here? Are you all there?
We're listening.
Patrick, are you there?
I am here.
Okay, hold on a second. Let me put my camera's on. I don't know why everybody's frozen.
Oh, you're frozen now, Alex.
Yeah. This is like.
So Patrick, take it.
It was Scott Morgan, and I clicked on something.
Yeah.
Scott Morgan came up and took me off.
Oh, now you're all okay. But,
but I think Scott's trying to call in on an old Skype call.
Oh, okay.
He's not using the a fresh one.
Yeah, just use a fresh one, Scott, if you're trying to call us. Because what happens is sometimes people try to just use you have like a group call and they just try to click on that and it causes problems.
And his call was the one with Tom was on it and a few other people.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So just, call into the GABNet Live directly rather than trying to use if you have the number in your contacts, fine, use that. But don't go to one of those things where it was a group call and then try to dial that up because
click the link under the live.
That causes all kinds of problems. Here's Scott Morgan. There he is. Hi, Scott. How are you this evening? Scott, are you there? No, he's having some trouble. He's having some troubles. Dan's back in again. Hello, Dan.
Yeah, do I sound a little better?
Yeah, you do. I don't know what's wrong with your system.
Should you go back to your old mic, Dan?
No. I don't know what happened with the new mic, but yeah, lately there's been some problems. I just turned it down some, so
yeah.
Maybe I'm.
Yeah, it sounds like you're in a cardboard box.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, you're down
too
low.
You could probably turn it up a little.
Okay, but Scott's having trouble getting into
stuff I'm doing. So, I mean, with my own thing, so it's Skype, but obviously it has to be with my Skype connection.
Scott's having some trouble tonight. I think he's probably having some bandwidth problems where he is. We've been something I've noticed, and is that It used to be we get like 9 people on, plus myself, without a problem. And now we start having problems. If I have more than 5 other people on besides me, or 4 other people on besides me, it starts having problems. And I'm really beginning to think that Skype has gotten so incredibly popular that they can't take the load.
That's what she
Could
said.
be. I mean, when I hang up and the session is over, I get a screen that has you fill out, how was the call, video problems, audio problems. Do you guys get that?
Yeah.
Yeah, you should.
Do you fill them
usually
out?
do.
I fill it out. If there's problems on the show, I fill it out and report it.
Really.
Did I glance at something about net neutrality today? That there was some sort of ruling that net neutrality is the law of the land now?
I didn't see it, but if you can find it, I'd appreciate it.
All right.
You know,
I'm trying to figure out where I saw it.
Yeah, I didn't hear anything about it.
I didn't hear
today.
it.
But if there was no net neutrality, maybe Skype has 2 levels of Skype. One that you pay for that gives you better bandwidth,
Well,
and the other one they throttle you back.
well, then how come I
Yeah,
haven't
well,
got? How come I?
across our country, Phil, the internet is just, the infrastructure is just ridiculous compared to the rest of the world. Getting rid of net neutrality is not going to help that. Actually, they're trying to fight it. There's towns in the United States that, have set up their own internet systems that are like delivering internet speeds, 10, 20 times more than what you get from Comcast or AT&T.
Yeah.
And those providers are trying to stop towns from doing that. And I forget. I think it's there's a town in Tennessee that set it up, and they've got great internet service.
Really?
I don't know where I read it. It looked like
Google Fiber.
I was cruising around on something for a couple of minutes, and
You know what your problem
I
is,
saw some
Phil?
article.
You know what it is, Phil? What your problem is you'll see something out of the corner of your eye, and then all of a sudden you go, "Oh, net neutrality," and it might be that somebody was talking about the Australian Open, and the net wasn't working correctly. And
I think it was on butterflies, and they were catching them with nets.
yeah,
I've noticed that you don't like improper reporting. You have a limited
tolerance for that.
Yeah, very little tolerance.
Yeah, but I mean, you only like read half of what's there.
I read very fast, and sometimes I just skim over things that might pop up on the computer. I take a look, and I'm doing something else.
No, I'll bet our friend in Wisconsin, the lovely Prick. Why did you put that up there tonight? Or is it P. Rick?
Well, it's P. Rick.
P. Rick.
Right. I mean, come on. The greatest thing about having a name Patrick is Prick is right in it. So.
He was born to be a prick.
He was born to be a prick. Are you looking for net neutrality on your computer? Is that what you seem to be surfing for something?
I'm on the iPhone. Yes, that's what I was looking for.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm talking to P. Rick.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I had started. If Phil's looking, I'll let him. That's why, like with me, when I reported about the new police thing, I make sure that the shit is there in front of me so that you don't call me out on it as being half-assed. So.
Well, I mean, rather than say I went speeding through something, or I went speeding around a paragraph at 20 miles an hour, and I think I saw. That the world's coming to the end on Tuesday. What?
Give Phil his own news show on GABNet. He can.
I'll make up the news as I go.
Yeah. Here's what I think I saw. I think we'll call the newscast.
Yeah.
It's not on this. I might find it. If I find it, I'll send it to you.
Yeah.
Actually, that sounds like a pretty good segment.
Well, that and food. Anything to do with food seems to bring people around.
Yeah.
We could talk about food.
Now let's talk about the elephant in the room, and I'm not talking about Renee's picture, because Renee has a picture, if you can see here, folks, of an elephant.
Is she a Republican?
Huh?
Is she a Republican?
No, she's not. Where did you get that picture of an elephant, Renee?
Oh, we went to South Africa. I shot it myself.
Oh, very nice.
You shot that poor elephant?
No, she shot.
And I asked it too. I said, "Excuse me, but could you stop for a second so I could take your photo?"
Yeah. In case people are watching on TV, can't see
Phil, our friend Revelstoke Jim could probably help us with this, but I just see a thing here. Canada upholds net neutrality rules, and it's
is that what it was?
It's dated January 29th, which is yesterday.
Okay, that must be what I saw.
Well,
you are amazing,
right.
Phil. You are amazing.
I just couldn't find it.
You don't care where it happens. You'll report it as happening here.
Hey, it happened in New York. I'm sure of it. I saw it for a second.
Yeah. Listen, net neutrality in Canada means everybody's going to be as slow as everybody else.
Well, I'm sure,
He's going to get the fast internet because he's got the money.
No, but let me quickly talk about
I'm going to use semaphore.
The big elephant in the room, and it's on Drudge, right at the top of the page. Bruce Jenner is transitioning into a woman.
No kidding.
Filming
I guess it's official now.
Now, do you really think he is?
Is he getting hormone shots?
Huh?
Is he getting hormone shots?
Well, I don't know. How do you make a hormone?
It sounds like something from the Inquirer, you know.
Well, have you seen
I
pictures
think
of
he's
him
getting
lately?
boobs, isn't he?
No, he's just
Hey,
gained a
listen,
little weight.
Wait long enough, get to be my age. We all get boobs, okay?
It's got a ring to it, though, doesn't it? Bruce Jenner transgender.
What would he change his first name to?
Yeah.
Bernice.
Bernice.
Bernice, there you go. That's close enough.
Whose phone is ringing?
He's got a phone.
Got a phone ringing.
God, you are more trouble, Dan. You have mysterious sounds and noises. Now you're moving all the stuff around.
It's his fans.
I'm trying to talk about an important subject here, like Bruce Jenner's sexuality. You know.
I'm sorry, it wasn't me. I looked at my phone. I thought maybe it was, but it wasn't.
You think his ex-wife left him with any genitals?
Well, I think that's where they lost them. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was. I don't know. It's become the big story now, and for some reason, girlfriend loves this story. She just thinks it's the funniest thing that Bruce Jenner might be changing his gender.
Maybe
I'm seeing a lot of it on the
Gal Pal or something.
Huh?
I think it's all Photoshop. I'm sorry.
2 days ago, Bruce Jenner to discuss transformation on TV.
Yeah, he's thinking of doing it with Oprah.
Yeah.
But you know,
transgender rumors.
How old is Bruce Jenner? He's got to be
60s.
No, I don't think, maybe late 50s, early 60s.
No, I'd say mid 60s.
Really?
Yeah, I'd say that's his age. In fact, I can look. Somebody look it up quick. You know, Bruce Jenner.
What, his age?
Yeah. Because it would seem to me really strange to me. Why would you wait till now to do it? You know?
That's true.
It doesn't make much sense.
Weird.
If you lived with the Kardashians
Scott?
all those years, you know, it would screw you up too.
Yeah. Hi, Scott. Finally got in, right?
Oh my goodness! I'm sorry for all the headaches.
What, bandwidth problems tonight?
No, user error, I should say.
User error. Oh.
I'm trying to sort out all this technology.
Now, that picture that you have when you come on, how old is that picture?
12 years old and current, but not myself.
Who is it?
That's my son.
That's your son. Oh, okay.
My son is educating me on the Skype world. Yes, he uses this every day with his friends to play Minecraft.
Well, you see, that's the problem. That's why we can't get a good signal, because you're a punk kid playing World of Minecraft or whatever, you know.
It's something, and I don't know why I find it comforting that at least he's playing with his friends and not sitting in here by himself. So
what kind of kids are these kids today? They're playing with Minecraft rather than Mein Kampf.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, well, yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Better than I mean, we used to play with Legos or something.
Yeah.
But Minecraft is very much Legos on a computer, and these guys create their own worlds, you know, and they really get into it. So I like them to go outside a little bit too, but it's better than some of the other games that are out there. I guess.
By the way, we're one short of a full house.
Yeah.
Do you notice that?
So Bruce Jenner's about 65.
Yeah.
And it's the source confirmed to People Magazine.
Yes, I saw that.
Yeah, People Magazine. I mean, that's the one that talks about Martians from.
No. People Magazine is what you read in your dentist's office.
Yeah, it's not as legit as TMZ or the Inquirer.
Well, it's run by Time Life.
Yeah.
So was what was it, CNN?
No, People is just simply a
liberal media.
You're mixing this up with like the National Enquirer.
No, People is a rag. It's not as bad as the Inquirer, but it's a rag.
It's not a rag. It is
It's something that they put next to the cash register while you're waiting to get your food in the Safeway line.
Well, they also put gum near the cash register too. And how bad is that for you? Hi,
not very good.
Hi, John Young.
Hello.
How are you this evening?
Good. I'm just here because I wanted to be on TV.
Well, wait a minute. Let me just blow your picture up all the way, so you can be the only thing there. Oh, that is John Young, ladies and gentlemen. He is our TV. He is our young caller. He's our young kid. He's our young. You don't find that humorous, do you, you young punk?
I hear that a lot.
Really?
Jokes
One time, Alex was on what's the TV station that gives away that has a marathon KQED.
Yeah.
And so, I think we have 10.
Yeah, hold it up.
We have
a full house.
Identify yourself, sir. Jason.
All right. So
I just wanted to have a full house.
Yeah, we have a full house now.
Yeah, it's about time.
And none of it's crashing.
Careful. Don't say that.
We have, let's see, John Young, Jason, Mark Beaumont, Dan, Phil, Mark Thorner, P. Rick. I like that. Renee Collins and Scott Morgan.
What John said was he wanted to be on TV. So Alex had a table that he was auctioning at the KQED auction. So while they're filming him and he's doing the auction, I kept walking behind his booth through the shot. And I did it 4 or 5 times, and finally somebody from KQED said, you got to stop doing that. But I went, I got on TV by doing a walk by behind Alex.
Yeah.
Alex, do you remember that?
No.
Do you remember auctioning at KQED, doing a table?
No.
No. Okay.
Listen, I was doing
you
a lot of
KQED.
I was doing a lot of drugs during that time.
We weren't doing drugs. You must have been more self-consumed than I thought. But.
Well, in order for me, Phil, to pay attention to anyone around me would mean that I would have to give up time thinking about myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those were the years.
Yeah.
Yeah. How are you going to dance around some of those years for your book, by the way?
How am I going to? What do you mean dance around?
He's going to ask me.
No,
I'm the only one who remembers.
I remember.
You got a lot of people that you can't out.
What? I can't out.
Well, you hung around with some people that have different careers now, and they're pillars in the society, and And as soon as you put this book out with some of those escapades, you're going to get in trouble.
Oh, I don't know that I know anybody whose career would be ruined by me talking about how they were back then. You know, the closest you could come to is P.J. O'Rourke.
Oh, yeah.
And the fact that we used to do, pot together. I think we're losing Jason. Maybe.
No, I just turned off my camera now, so I don't have anybody else.
It would probably be P.J. O'Rourke, and P.J. doesn't deny that we used to sit around my house smoking pot together. So,
his career in Wait, Don't Tell Me's over, huh?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
No, PJ and I just, this is a classic story. We were sitting around one day, passing a joint back and forth, and he said to me, one day when we get into power, we're going to be, this is all going to be legal. And so I tell that story that, to this day, it's still not legal in a lot of places.
Moving that way.
Yeah. And
Ohio's going to have a vote on it in this November.
What? Who's Ohio?
Mm-hmm.
Ohio.
They're thinking of skipping over the medical and going straight to all legalization.
Yeah, well, that's the way it should be. I should not have to have cancer in order to smoke pot, for crying out loud.
Yeah, but which way is going to pass, though?
Huh?
Which way will pass?
That's true.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
do you have a better chance of getting it passed with it being under medical marijuana, or do you have a better chance of just decriminalizing it or legalizing it?
But if you make it medicinal marijuana, then I have to somehow, there has to be, some states get very rough with that. California, they were loosey-goosey. Go into a doctor and he just, for $200, writes you a recommendation. But like here in New York, you've got to go to a doctor and he's got to say you've got any one of 3 different things like cancer and something else and something else,
It's fairly easy to have something. All you have to say is you have anxiety.
My roommate's a chiropractor, and he can prescribe medical marijuana.
What?
Yeah, in California.
What's his number?
Well, finally, at least chiropractor's worth something.
But even the bad thing, if you get a prescription or if your state legalizes it for recreational, your employer can still fire you if you have it in your system.
That's right.
Well, I mean, they could fire you if you showed up for work drunk, couldn't they?
Yeah, but you're showing up for work drunk.
Yeah.
Marijuana just in your system.
Just in your system. Yeah, it takes like 3 weeks to get out of your system.
Or a month if you have a lot of it.
Yeah.
Most
So does that mean it builds up?
are at-will employees, so we don't have to worry about that.
Well, I have often said that I don't care how broke I am, how down in the dumps I am financially, I would never work for anybody that would require, as part of my job, getting my job, having to take a drug test. You have no right.
Minimum wage.
You have no right to find out what's in my system because my doctor prescribes things that are in my system, and you should not know what they are.
Yeah, Alex, I agree with you 100%, except for my contract says I have to be drug tested.
Why is that?
Because, now, not me particularly, I'm kind of in a different office, but some of these guys there work with these reactor vessels that if they go critical, could take out city blocks.
Wow.
So they really don't want those folks, and you're absolutely right about they could be on some prescription drug and be just as whacked out. So there's that argument there. But they don't want the casual drug users using some of this equipment.
Well, but you see, I understand in certain jobs, but like,
agreed.
I'm a radio announcer. Come on.
Agreed.
Come on.
For sure. And we had a retiree who comes in and helps us just like figure things out, what they did back in the 30s and 40s. It's a complex site. They make him take a drug test, and he just comes in to read papers. Which,
wow.
So yeah, it gets really absurd at times.
Hey, guess what? Hear the music.
Just a power trip.
Hear the music, and everybody's frozen. I can actually see Renee now for the first time this evening.
Nice to
Hi,
see you,
darling.
Renee.
Good to see you. You're the only one I can actually see moving right now.
She came on, and the rest of us froze.
But at least she's the best looking one here. So.
Yeah, well,
In my jammies.
Most hair, at least.
Hey, very
there you
nice.
go.
Hey,
I got hair.
Renee, be sure to call us more, will you?
Yeah.
And my condolences, Renee.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, guys.
Well, enough of that. She's over that. She's on to the rest of her life and calling this program and being with friends all the time. We love her.
All right.
Thanks to Jason. Thanks to Mark. Thanks to Scott, Dan, Phil, John Young, Mark Beaumont, P. Rick. I love that.
Night.
And we'll see you all probably on Monday because we're back again on Monday. Thanks for making it a full house, even if they're all frozen right now. Good night, everybody. Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Have a nice weekend.
That's it for tonight, folks. I'm Alex Bennett. See you again Monday. Meanwhile, Revelstoke Jim is next over GABNet, a tune-in partner. So be sure to stay tuned for that over most of this same network. I'm Alex Bennett. And if you see her, tell her I love her, okay?